Welcome to Elizabeth Jones's Variety Hour.
Hello to the Mary Elizabeth Variety Hour, and I am I am your announcer, Kaye Lazar. How you doing?
Good.
And so, a lot going on this week, huh?
Yes.
Okay, tell us about you. You're in the middle of the show. I thought the show premieres. Actually, the show premieres. Well, we're doing this tonight, but probably by the time you see it, it'll be a few days into it. So tell us about your show.
I'm doing a play this weekend,
Yeah.
and we have an opening night tonight.
Opening night, and what time does it start?
It's 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. And okay, and it's a show for the whole family.
Yes.
Okay. And tell us about the show. What's the name of it?
It's called The Enchanted Bookshop.
The Enchanted Bookshop. Okay, sounds like a winner.
Yeah.
It's about magical books, I guess.
Yes.
Okay. Like the book of Kells. the Necronomicon. That's why I only know magical books from horror movies. What's that book? The Evil Dead.
Yeah.
It's all about a book where they chant what's in there and everything. Wow,
Yeah.
Is there a motorcycle here? I'll tell you, it's hard to believe. We're actually surrounded by a crew here, and
Yeah.
they're just making. Oh, wait a minute! It was a school bus that just passed by. I could tell because all those kids are like throwing spitballs at each other.
Yeah.
So anyway, we just had a nice picnic, and so the picnic's over. We're all well nourished and everything because this is the week of my birthday. So thanks for tuning in my birthday. I'm in a grouchy, grumpy mood, and part of the grouchy, grumpy mood I'm in is because I have to wear this coat. No, I'm in a very good mood because on your birthday or near your birthday, people are having a lot of fun. People usually are at their best because people show them a lot of attention. People remember who they are. People, you're not taken for granted so much on your birthday. So I'm very excited this week, and I got this jacket. I've been wearing it all week. I don't know when I will ever wear it again, but it's the Jimmy Buffett collection. I bought it in Margaritaville, and so I've been wearing this coat, and so we had. I'm going to be in the 10K race later this weekend, the same day as your show, but I'll try to see both of them. Let me tell you about this coat. It's been a lot of fun lately, and my niece had a TED Talk. Believe it or not, I have a niece old enough to do a TED Talk, and she did it at her school, and she's my sister's daughter, and I said I want to go. It was on my birthday, actually on my birthday, and so I went and I said I'll wow the youngsters there with this jacket. They'll think I'm Mr. Cool, Mr. the Fun Uncle, the Funkle. And then pretty much, luckily I brought another coat with me, a black coat, because I didn't want to take anything away. I didn't want to take anything away from my niece while she's telling. Well, everyone's trying to listen to her. They're looking at my coat, this coat. So I just wore a black coat, and nobody paid any attention, which is right.
Yeah.
I didn't want it. I wasn't there to make a scene or draw attention from people. I was just there to see support my family. So I always, if you ever want to know the right thing to do, Mary, always have this constantly swirling around in your brain. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. And I didn't want to be that guy, but now I'm that guy. So I saw the TED Talk, and these modern high schools are really something else. They have waiters in the lunchroom. They have closed circuit television. They have their own radio station, their own TV station. Gosh, when I was in high school, it was like something out of the Soviet Union or something.
Yeah.
There was all cell block everywhere.
Yeah.
There was the auditorium. The auditorium had like a 3D capabilities, had AI. Everything is so different now, and so anyway, and when it was over, we all went to celebrate my birthday. We went to a pizza place, and it was a place I hadn't been in 20 years. The Apollo restaurant, or it was just a place that sells Italian food, and I got pizza, and because I remember the last time I was there 20 years ago, it was such good pizza. I remember to go there again. It was so good, and you don't realize, gosh, I haven't been to this place in probably at least 2 years, and then it turned out to be 20 years. They, of course, when I walk, and of course, then I put this jacket on and showed off to everybody, and I was okay. Let me tell you about pizza. I mentioned this once before, that a guy who ran a pizza parlor in England told me somebody ordered a pizza with no pepperoni on it, and I said, he said I think he's from Italy, or from an Italian family in England. He said, you don't want pepperoni on your pizza? I don't think a pizza's good without any pepperoni on it. And I said, yeah, you're right. I agree. I don't know what I eat pepperoni on anyway, but I certainly have it on pizza. You don't cook it in your microwave or anything, pepperoni. You don't have a pepperoni sandwich, though you could. So I'm having dinner a few months ago with my sister, and she brought a whole bunch of pizzas from the pizza parlor. And I said, is there any pepperoni pizza for you? She goes, we don't eat pepperoni in this house. Only unsophisticated Philistines like pepperoni on their pizza. And I said, I like pepperoni on my pizza. And she said, the defense rests. So then I was at this pizza parlor on my birthday. I said, well, maybe I'll get 2 pepperoni slices, But then I saw, oh gosh, rather than get bad looks from my sister, I better just order maybe something with pepperoni on it. So I got like the combo that has all the stuff on there. Trouble is, every time you order a pizza for everybody, there's always somebody who doesn't like olives, or someone who doesn't like onions, or someone who doesn't like something, and you just see them picking every little thing off the pizza. Which to me is a big waste,
Yeah.
But I love pizza, and pizza's probably my favorite food,
Yeah.
And so this weekend, I'm going to be eating a lot this weekend. So I'm trying to so many friends of mine have taken me out, like Mary Elizabeth and everything, on my birthday. This is a milestone birthday for me. The Big 50. Big 50, 50 years old. Now you might see other places that I'm older than that, but Kaye Lazar, I'm not talking about my real name, but Kaye Lazar is 50 years old. I mean, his name isn't real, so might as well make everything unreal. But anyway, if you go on my Facebook page, you'll see these celebrities all wishing me a happy 50th birthday. And it's really cool. William Shatner, Martin Short, Dolly Parton, Smokey Robinson,
Yeah.
Weird Al Yankovic, and a few of Donny Osmond. It goes on. It's about 10 or 12 of them, and they're kind of fun to watch. And a couple of them I actually know, like William Shatner and Martin Short and Marlee Matlin.
Yeah.
And she sings a song. I believe Marlee Matlin sings something. And so anyway, check those out. I encourage you. You get a big kick out of them. I'm going to be running in the 10K this weekend, and I'm really looking at this same day as you do your show. I don't know how they plan it, but it seems like every time our theater troupe, they seem to always plan a play or something important
Yeah.
on the day of this race that only happens once a year. It happens in around March or April. This time it's April 20th. So I'm going to be running in this race. I had a kind of rough time last year because my knee wasn't doing well. So I actually been to the doctor and I got bandages and pads on my knees and stuff. And it's almost like walking on springs. I feel like I could have my best race ever.
Yeah.
But now that I'm older, I can't. I still think of myself as a 22-year-old that I could be in the Olympics and I could run. It's the longest hour of my year. Last year I made it about an hour and 20 minutes or so because I was hobbling around.
Yeah.
There's a way of running. Last year I knew my knee was hurting before I even started, so I said, and I already joined the thing. So I was doing this crazy run where I was kind of like skipping and throwing because my right knee was bad, and flipping around and just pretty much just doing a whirling dervish the whole time. But even that was tiring after 6 miles or so.
Yeah.
And so I think I'm in a little better position with my knee. But I got like I said, an hour and 20 minutes. It's usually an hour. I do it in 58 minutes one year, 62 minutes some other years, 65. And I'm always disappointed. Oh, I wish I would have done better. I was with a group of people at work in an office, and they saw that I did I did like instead of 58 minutes, I did 62 minutes of the 10K. And I said, oh gosh, what a poor disappointment. And then they said, we walked it. It took us 3 hours, and you only took 62 minutes. Who are you? Rayford Johnson or something? Who are you? Usain Bolt? I'm in it to win it. I always try to do my best in the race. I actually am quite exalted. I'm one of the top 30,000 runners in Richmond, Virginia. So, So does every car not have a muffler around here? Every car. I think a lot of guys don't like mufflers on their cars because it makes them sound like they have a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Anyway, oh, it is a motorcycle actually. And I drive a Honda car.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, I always wanted a Honda motorcycle. So when I grew up, I compromised to have a Honda car. Is there anything you did when you were a kid that you wanted to do that you can't do now as an adult? Because a lot of my friends wanted to be ball players and be movie stars and stuff. And then when they grew up, they realized they couldn't do that, or even on the stage and stuff. But one thing a lot of boys my age wanted to do was jump out of a plane with a parachute, thinking it was pretty fail-safe. Hey, I jump out of the plane, pull the chute, land safely on the ground, and that's the end of that. So I never did that. But I took my niece when she was little to see Point Break, a movie with Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves. Right. And I think the Swayze actually really did, he didn't use a stuntman, he actually did do it. And they had film of him doing it on there. And my little niece, she must have been like 5 years old. I said, would you ever want to do that? And she goes, yeah. But now she's grown up, and I asked her recently, "Are you planning on doing it?" She goes, "Hell no."
Yeah.
And so running in the race is about as risky as my behavior is going to get. I'm not in my 20s anymore, so if I have to walk it, I walk it. But I'm in it to win. I try to run it, but the last thing I want to do is blow out my knee and then have to be in a wheelchair the rest of my life, or have operation after operation. My which happens to a lot of people my age. If you ever go to your got tickled. I think it's that salad I was eating. It had the little coconut or something.
Yeah.
And the coconut always, like a little strand, always lands in the back of my throat, and that's the. So anyway, so I would. What was I saying? Yeah, so I try to, do. You go to your club, all right, and you ask the instructor, the trainers and stuff, the people who run the classes, yoga or anything, and they're always having operations. Oh, I have a toe that I blew out. I have a knee that I blew out. My back is not. And I said, you would think that the people who do this for a living, or at least do it as even an avocation, wouldn't get hurt. The people who sit around on the couch, nothing happens to them. They get a little heavier, but they don't have to. They don't exert themselves. They don't wear themselves out. And those people are the ones. And then they're kind of out of commission for the next 6 weeks because they're recuperating from an operation on their the Achilles tendon or something.
Yeah.
And and it's awful. So I run that risk all the time that I'm going to push myself, even though I don't really push myself. I'm a pretty lazy person generally. I exercise up to the point before it gets a problem. Now I can't really do that, at the race because I have to finish the race, but I'm looking forward to the race. And I mentioned about the theater doing a show, your show. I once 1 year, probably 3 years ago, I did a play, and they were filming like a low budget film the same day, my theater troupe, and the star of it was the Renaissance, and the star of it said she couldn't. She called and had to cancel her participation in the movie shoot because she was. This is the nicest thing that's ever happened to me. She said, she said, why can't you make it? She goes, well, I'm all worn out. I was in the 10K race today, and I'm so exhausted I can't budge. And then she said, you won't believe this, but we have a man that's me, that's 3 times your age. She was like, I think 15 or something. Yeah. That's 3 times your age. And not only did he run in the race and finish the race, but he was in a play. I mean, play is harder than being on a movie shoot. Movie shoot, take 1, take 2. There's no take 1, take. There's no take 2 in a play. Yeah. If you mess up. You have to move on.
Yeah.
I mean, I was joking that last week I was watching Saturday Night Live with Ryan Gosling, and they were laughing through every skit, like it was the Carol Burnett show. And that's something you think you're going to do, when you're in a play. But you usually, if you're concentrating on your acting and concentrating is the thing, you won't laugh, no matter how funny the lines are, no matter how funny the situation is, no matter what. You're nervous, you won't laugh if you hunker down. But and Ryan Gosling, I'm sure, is a pretty good actor otherwise, but I don't know how good a theater actor he is because he just kept on a live show. He just kept laughing and laughing and laughing like it was the Carol Burnett show. And the guy who produces Saturday Night Live is Lorne Michaels, and he got his start in I think the late '60s on the Carol Burnett show, and they would write these wonderful skits, and then what would happen is Harvey Korman and Tim Conway would start laughing through them. And then they run that, and that's what everyone likes and enjoyed. But the writers would say, they took my wonderful script and just made a mockery of it by laughing through it all. So when he produced his own show, Saturday Night Live, he says there'll be no laughing, or we're going to try to keep that at a minimum. And what they do is they don't even let you remember your lines; they just put them all on cue cards and have you just look at them. And if you just read off of cue cards, you're not going to laugh.
Yeah, right.
But Jimmy Fallon never stops laughing.
Yeah.
I noticed that on the Carol Burnett show that the parts with Eunice and Mama, they don't laugh. They stick to the script, and I think that's why they're much funnier in the Mrs. Wiggins skits. They're pretty
I like that part, Mrs. Wiggins.
Yeah, Mrs. Wiggins is so funny. Mrs. Wiggins is my favorite. Yeah.
I like the part when she reads a note for happy birthday.
What did she say?
She said the way she was doing it was like, happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you. Remember that one?
Yeah, and then I remember, Tim Conway had a voice, Mr. Tudball, and he goes, "It's happy birthday to you." You said it wrong. It's happy birthday to you. And reminds me, that was such a popular skit, Mrs. Wiggins, that once I went to the mall. This is when I was a teenager, and my sister showed up there, and my mom said, "Meet us at the parking lot where the car is, and just wait for us in the car." Well, she locked all the doors. My mom was very protectful. But we were stuck outside the car waiting for her in the hot sun, waiting for her to come, open the door for us. So I get there first, and no one's there, and I'm waiting. And then my sister, I have so many sisters, a different sister showed up, and she said, "Is Mom here yet?" I said, "No." She said, she tried to open the door. She says, "The door is locked, don't you?" And you know what I said? She said, "The door is locked, don't you?" I said, and I did it. I was good at doing imitations. I said, "Thank you, Mrs. Wiggins, for that news flash." One of my greatest ad libs when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And let's see. And so we had a good. We had a good lunch. We had wraps.
Yeah, we had buffalo chicken wraps and southwestern wraps.
And we also had salads.
Like fruit salads. We had the mandarin orange salad.
Yeah.
And the strawberry crepe salad.
Yeah, I never had these salads. Usually salads I eat have a lot of lettuce in them, tomatoes, and croutons. This had just sweet fruit.
Yeah, but these were really special ones.
Yeah, they were special day, special picnic, special lovely woman and birthday boy. So we made a little noteworthy. And I was thinking that actually wraps are a good thing to bring on a picnic if it's only like two people or so, because it's cold. You don't have to heat them up. You just eat them cold. It's good on a hot day because it's good to eat cold stuff on a hot day. You don't want to have to eat hot stuff on a hot day.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking, what did you like to eat for lunch when you were a kid? I mean, like in your lunchbox and everything.
I used to love peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Peanut butter and jelly.
And there's back in the 80s, I grew up in the 80s.
Yeah.
And they had these cookies called Giggles.
Giggles.
And they had these cookies that had the smiley face printing on it.
Okay, Giggles. Now, were they like plain cookies or sugar cookies? What did they have in them?
They
have like chocolate in them or what?
They had chocolate inside them.
Okay.
It was like a sandwich cookie.
Like an Oreo or something?
Yeah.
Or like a chocolate chip cookie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to like chocolate chip. I used to like chocolate chip cookies a lot. Still do, actually.
Yeah.
And the peanut butter cookies I like.
Yeah.
Not too crazy about the oatmeal raisin cookies. I like the oatmeal, not too crazy about the raisin. You ever see a raisin in a oatmeal raisin cookie, but you assume it's a chocolate chip? And go, oh, it's a jelly-ish, gelatinous thing. And so I would, that's a big disappointment when you have to eat that. So I would, we had a cookie. I mean, there was, they had crazy cookies like Fudge Town. They had a cookie called Gauchos. They had Oreos, of course, and chocolate chip Toll House cookies, Mrs. Fields. They had what was popular as Famous Amos. And everyone told me those were the best, but they didn't seem all that great to me. I mean, they were fine if there was no other cookie. But, they remind me, the cookies you get in a vending machine are never any good. I don't know how long they've been in the vending machine. They could have been there 5 years, and they still haven't gone bad.
Yeah.
Cookies are best when they're fresh, and when the food is always better when it's fresh. That's why you never see me eat at a fast food place. You never see me eat out of a vending machine. Well, and because I eat a lot of food doesn't have preservatives in it. I've said this a million times, but I can't say it enough. I don't get sick like I used to when I was eating, garbagey food. The chemicals I think are terrible, and you think chemicals by definition would be good for your body, but they're not. They're toxins that you don't need in your body. But when I was a kid, we would have not lunch. We had the same sort of sandwich, peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
We had bologna sandwiches with cheese.
I used to have ham and cheese.
Ham and cheese. There was so I don't know where this came from, but there were these kids that would have ham, but instead of having cheese on their sandwich, they had mustard on it. And I guess, and I never understood. I would eat it, and I kind of liked mustard because it was kind of spicy, and most food I ate when I was a kid my parents gave me were kind of boring food.
Yeah.
So mustard had a bit of a bite to it. But then after a while, I said, why am I putting mustard on anything? Mustard, everything with mustard on it tastes like mustard. You could put mustard on a Snickers bar, and you'll taste the mustard. I heard someone say in a movie, a mustard sandwich. Every sandwich with mustard on it is a mustard sandwich. It's true. And we'd have an apple or a banana. I would leave the apple. I had little hands and little teeth. Mom says, "Why didn't you eat your?" Because you come home with your lunchbox. "Why didn't you eat your apple?" I said, "I couldn't eat it. My teeth. My." So she found something called an apple core, which you take it and puts it on. And then she put it in a plastic bag and gave it to me, and then I could eat it. That was great.
Yeah.
A little brown by the time noontime came, but from after packing it in the morning. But it was still good. It was better than not eating it at all.
Yeah.
I knew kids. Oh gosh, want to hear something disgusting? I knew kids that were constantly trading their food because their food wasn't very good. And they would. My mom would make us a sandwich or something, and she said, "Never trade for other kids' sandwiches. Just eat the sandwiches I give you, okay?" And so I couldn't understand why. And then I finally asked her, "Why do you not want us?" Because she says, "I know that family. They have about 5 kids and about 3 kids in diapers, and the mother's constantly changing the baby's diapers. And I know she doesn't wash her hands. And then she makes a sandwich for that kid, and then you trade for that sandwich, and you're going to get sick because she doesn't, I said, "What about the kids that are eating the sandwich?" She goes, "Well, they're inured to it. They have the bodies against it. You don't." And I said, "You're right, because we keep things clean around here." And so it made me realize that not everybody washes their hands after they're in the bathroom. And those things. When I was told that as a kid, really hit home to me. Yeah, really. I think my mom knows what she's talking about.
Yeah.
When the pandemic came and everyone started, for some reason, it's almost like a new thing. Let's wash our hands. Let's wash our hands. My mom was ahead. We were doing that 30 years earlier.
Yeah.
So anyway, we had. I think the kids today have like Lunchables from Oscar Mayer, and they look all right, but they look like something. Every Lunchable I've ever seen looks like something you could make yourself. Why spend top dollar on that? Yeah. My niece, you see, my dad grew up during the Depression, and he was all real meat and potatoes guy, and he had to take my niece in the 1990s or something to daycare center, and they said you have to provide a snack for the child. So my dad gave her a banana. and then the first day she comes back, she says, "I don't know, this banana's not going to work." And she said, all the other kids, this is her exact words. She said, all the other kids got a pudding snack, and all I had was a banana. So I would get a banana. And sometimes when you're a little kid, remember talking about the apple, it's hard to open. Every fruit's hard to open for a kid. The banana's hard to peel. The orange is hard to take the skin off and suck out the seeds out of it, everything and take it. Yeah. My mom also did the same with the orange. She chopped it up in the little. Oranges are great. They're already in sections. So if you do it right, you could put them all in a bag and without the peel. And we had the banana, and I think after that, whatever my niece wanted, she got. It wasn't like me. She goes, "Eat your banana. Eat your banana." We asked for candy when we were a kid. We got bananas here. Finish the bananas. We'll get you some candy. And of course, we never finished the bananas because they were kind of nutritious compared to the candy, which is what we really wanted.
Yeah.
But anyway, I remember going up to I won't mention her name, Sister Owen. She was the principal of our school.
Yeah.
And I had this really hard banana to open. I must have been in second grade. I said, "Can you open this banana for me?" And she just screamed at me. And she says, "Hey, my job here is not to open bananas for you. Open it yourself." Oh. So, I'm glad she never had, as being a nun, never had children. If that's her bedside manner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes you wonder, all those teachers that gave you a hard time when you were in school, I wonder if they're still alive. I had a teacher that was a really mean teacher. She got me in trouble when I was in first grade, and then years later, maybe 20 years later, or maybe not maybe that long, maybe 15 years later, I was like 18 years old or so, and my dad, her name was Mrs. White. He goes, "You remember Mrs. White who used to teach at your school?" I said, "I barely knew her." He said, "She died," and I said, "Good." Because the one time I had to deal with her, she got, she reported me to the principal because I was laughing when I shouldn't have been laughing, and that's another story. I may have told it before, so I don't want to bother with that right now.
Yeah.
But where's your lunchbox?
It's behind you.
Oh yeah, okay. Now, Mary brought all our picnic gear in this lunchbox. You ever seen a lunchbox like this?
My dad uses these for work. So.
Yeah, the next generation. This is their lunchbox. It keeps the hot stuff hot, the cold stuff cold. It's basically a mini cooler, all right? But it's a lunchbox. So anyway, one child once showed me, "This is my lunchbox," and they showed me this. I said, "I don't like it." So what do you don't like about it? He goes, "Well, I only like lunchboxes that have a picture of Batman on them." Now, I actually collect lunchboxes, and a lot of them are ones I actually used when I was a kid. I don't buy anything new anymore, but it seems like I have so many lunchboxes because you use them as tins to keep stuff in coins or, sunglasses or something. I mean, I try to use all my... And then lunchboxes kind of made a comeback at the Dollar Tree and at the Five Below. They start selling them with like Star Wars on it and Star Trek on it and the Lord of the Rings on it. And lunchbox is a good thing to have.
Yeah.
Because you could put lunch in it, or you could put anything in it.
Yeah.
I used to have lunchboxes when I was a kid, and there were plastic ones and there were metal ones. And it took me a while to figure this out. You don't notice as a kid, because time means that. But the plastic ones probably broke down within the vinyl ones broke down within a year, while the metal ones are still going strong. It lasts forever. So I pretty much I figured out that the really cool ones, the really good TV shows or something they put on them, they put on the vinyl ones because they knew you'd come back to buy more. While the metal ones, once you've got the metal ones, but I just love my lunch boxes. I keep my comic books in them, my baseball cards, and everything from my youth. My Duncan yo-yos on them. My Duncan tops on them. If you haven't already guessed, I was big on all those toys. And those toys, to some extent, the Hot Wheels, they're all built to last in those. I'll talk about each one of them separately with your permission, on different shows.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's see where we are right now. Oh, we're. I've said enough. Can we take a little break
Yes.
and do a second half of this show?
Yes, let's take a little break and we will be back soon. God bless you. Take care.